Hi, I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. Now, of course, it's really easy to say that the narcissist is emotionally dead. Now, with that said, they're not entirely emotionally dead. They just cannot experience good, healthy human emotion that connects us all and brings us all together. They definitely cannot experience the emotion of love. They are lacking in empathy, consideration, or genuine concern for their fellow man. And that's because they lack the ability to see their fellow man as a living human entity, more of an object, a possession, well, like the pots that we've discussed in the past. They see people as almost two-dimensional, flat objects to be owned, controlled, manipulated, and used, basically. Just because they don't feel the emotion of love doesn't mean they don't have emotions. Now, the narcissist is able to feel all kinds of emotions, feelings, sensations, things like paranoia, envy, shame, fear, sadness, definitely, anger, frustration, hatred, rage, envy, and all of these things, all of these emotions are often used as weapons against their targets and victims to create an injury in their victim or their target, and from that injury that they induce, they then feel power, like they absolutely get a surge of energy from that. Like the same way that, normal people would get a surge of energy from expressing the emotion of love or empathy, they get that surge of energy, almost exhilarating. And we've all seen that crazy look when they're just all bubbling up with their toxic, vile bullshit, right? Like, we've all seen that. And rarely will you see a narcissist, expressing, that smug narc look and that crazy look in their eyes. That comes from them inflicting injury on someone and the delight that they feel from that. So they're definitely feeling things. Now, unfortunately for us, as victims, targets, survivors, the wrath of these horribly filthy, diabolical emotions that they are operating from, it really creates a very sick situation. I mean, one of mass confusion and mindfuckery, because it is very hard for an empath to understand, how this is working for them. I'd often say to Trevor, like, he would be in the bathtub laying there just licking his narc injury and coiled up and just licking his injury. And you could just see that he was in such a wretched state of self-loathing and self-hatred and such shame. And I mean, he just... not for what he'd done to people, but because he'd been caught or because he'd been exposed. But, I remember one time standing over him when he was in the bathtub, and I said, this moment, like this moment in your life where you feel all this anxiety and all this shame, like, you've been here so many times. Don't you ever tire of it? And, for a split second, I think he was trying to grasp that. Like, he seemed to be trying to really internalize that, but no, like, he just, yeah, there was this shift where he thought to himself, yeah, shit, I've been here so many times, but he can't let it go. They just can't. I mean, they're so sick and so diabolical that they can't let it go. There were many times like that over the 5 years that Trevor and I were together. And of course, Trevor and I worked together for years before that. So I've known Trevor for quite a long time. But, there were moments, and I think those moments kept me hooked in many ways, kept me hopeful, kept me thinking, maybe there's a human being in there, because I would get these glimpses of him almost becoming reflective on his behavior, and I'd think, oh, maybe there's hope. But then right away, pow, right back to the gaslighting, projection, humiliation, just, all that shit immediately, But those fleeting moments where I think, oh, maybe there's a human in there. No, not at all. Unfortunately, though, for me, I would see those as very hopeful moments, and I clung to those little fleeting moments where he seemed to be in a state of human emotional reflection. It was never real, sadly. So, though it's very easy to say that the narcissist is emotionally dead, they're only really dead emotionally when it comes to the good human emotions. But negative, filthy, dirty, diabolical, emotion that you would sort of attach to a zombie, a monster, a demon, a vampire, those ones they've got. The hatred, the envy, the sadness, the fear, the paranoia, the guilt, the remorse, and all of them, like if they're feeling remorse, it's never because of what they did to someone. It's because they either didn't hurt them more or they got caught. They feel frustration, anger, rage, envy, all of it, like all of it. And my God, do they feel narcissistic injury, and narcissistic injury will drop them so deep into a gutter. I mean, that they will just become incensed with rage, with such a desperate need at all costs. They will lie, they will cheat, they will steal, they will manipulate, they will not stop. They absolutely will not stop. They cannot stop. They do not have breaks. When you expose one of them, when you call them on their shit, they become so consumed by their narcissistic injury that they will stop at nothing to, remedy that in themselves. You've got lots of emotion, just not any that you or I want, right? So for the many times people have commented here, things like, what are they feeling? Why can't they feel love? Well, there's just some kind of break in their emotional chip. I mean, it's not like normal people, plain and simple. It really isn't. We're dealing with very, very creepy entities here. And no, they cannot feel love. They cannot feel empathy. But my God, they can feel anger, hatred, and rage, like in abundance, So if you've gotten away from the narc, consider yourself lucky. If you're still trapped there, guys, we are rooting for you. We want to see everybody get free. Guys, I really love you guys lots, and the support that you guys have expressed to me, especially in these last couple of weeks, has been, it's been great, really. And that's kind of what kept me afloat here. I really appreciate all the great support. I'm Kim. This is Kim Wilson TV. Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon.